Hey Aquarius family, what is going on? Welcome to the channel. I'm Deborah. This is Purusha Intuitive, and we are looking at your reading for this week. So whoop whoop to that. I hope all is well in your world. We just entered Aries season, so that's a blessing. It's all about new start, new beginnings. Maybe you need to find a little bit more growth and support in your environment for what you're trying to build, especially if you don't have or you're not feeling like you have a lot of that. I love this card. This comes out. This is like about our own empowerment. So if you're not feeling really supported by those that are in your environment, then there's definitely a need, a call to create that for yourself, right? So this happens through our routine, our self-care, etc., the foods we eat, how much sleep we're getting. So be really mindful of that, especially if you don't have a lot of like outside support, like I was saying. All right, let's get into it, guys. Yeah, so cultivate strength. So this is exactly what I was just referring to. It's building your foundation a little bit stronger. Whatever this is, sorry guys, I apologize if that was loud. Yeah, so it's like whatever you're kind of focused on, you need to lay your foundation a little bit thicker is what I'm hearing. I hear this as like, you know where you're headed, you know your goals and your visions, but now it's time to, chip away at like the progress, so to speak, right? Yeah, because it's all happening, but it is in divine timing. This energy has been popping up a lot more lately. This is the places that, we have to wait for certain things to line up, certain aspects to shift and change before we actually see it coming in. Exactly this opportunity for change. So there's multiple options, and that's kind of goes back to what I was talking about with that cultivate strength. So you're just figuring things out right now, how it's working. This might be something new, completely fresh that you've started on. With that liminal space, I like it because it's saying how you are like in pursuit of it, right? Like you are on the path. It's just a little bit awkward right now because, again, you're still getting comfortable. That's like the best way to say it. It's like when you first start a job, you have to kind of get the lay of the land, figure out how everything works, learn whatever information you need to, etc. That's exactly what this reminds me of. And you're doing it, I think it's like what I'm hearing is like, don't expect it to happen tomorrow. Granted, these are weekly readings, so 7 days, But what I kind of hear for you this week is, you might be in this weird space. Liminal space is in between the threshold, right? It's like you haven't completely crossed over, and so it feels awkward. It feels uncomfortable. It's like middle school, right? And that's kind of where the more like self-referral you have, meaning really connecting with yourself, spending time thinking things through, evaluating, seeing what feels right for you, what works, what fits, etc. That is actually helping that manifestation grow and build. And it looks like you have a lot of time and opportunity this week to play around with what that specifically looks like for you. Yeah. It's hard though when we're juggling a lot of different things. But this Two of Pentacles definitely speaks to like not feeling very grounded, like having a lot on our plate, just kind of keeping everything up in the air to the best of our ability, which is like modern life, right? But I love it for you because it is speaking to the need to, again, like step back, carve out time for you, set those boundaries. 444 on the clock. Don't let energy vampires or whatever you want to call them, any person, place, or thing that's in our life that depletes our time and our energy, that's what we need to cut out, right? We don't always know what that is. And it's not about overanalyzing, because obviously Aquarius being air energy, it's super easy to do that. To me, this is about your instincts. You know, if something starts feeling uncomfortable or it's draining you, etc., yeah. 7 of Wands, it's all the places that you give of yourself. Delegate, you know, really kind of make sure that you're not shouldering the burden because you can. Yeah, because you're too stressed out right now. It's too much, you know. And I love this card because it's like he holds that egg, that possibility for new life, whatever you're working to bring in to manifest. You have to guard it. You have to protect it. And that means taking care of yourself, right? We actually manifest so much quicker when we are, you know, when we're implementing a bunch of self-care. It's like maximum efficiency, minimum effort. I love it. So I'm hearing like be really mindful of your environment, the people that you're giving your time and energy to. You know, you might be overgiving to your relationship, friends, etc. So be really conscious of that. Do your best, like I said, to have these boundaries in place, because you do look really stressed out and depleted. And I'm not saying anyone's intentionally trying to do that to you. You know, there's a lot of newness, fresh start, new opportunities in your energy, which is really awesome. Aquarius, yeah, 2 aces. I love that. But anytime we have new beginnings, it's also this opportunity to rewrite how we do things, right? And that's really what evolution is. It's being able to look at how we want to show up a little bit differently, or doing things that we know are more honoring of who we are as an individual. You know, it does look like, and this has kind of been a very consistent energy. I mean, we are coming from Pisces season, which does have a tendency to bring up a lot of the BS, like just kind of the difficult things we don't really want to look at, the painful stuff, etc. And it's not always fun, you know. There's aspects of this that have been really hard for you to kind of, you know, a bitter pill to swallow. 2 of Wands, it's really conflicting between what you see and what you think, what you pick up. And that kind of goes back to that chaos, you know, especially if you have family and kids. Kids take a lot. And it's easy to get distracted. Yeah. This was a very similar energy that we saw in the Capricorn reading. So really needing to connect with that love, that nurture. I love that this is one of my favorite 3 of Wands cards. It just looks so like blissful and serene. There's so much love there. If you do have a child and you've been in that space with a loving partner, it's such a tender time, right? But the other side of the 3 of Wands is it's like, it's a period of waiting, you know? Not everything is going to manifest right up front. That's where divine timing is a blessing. It might be annoying, you know, in our ego way, because we want it now. Not good, bad, right, or wrong. I mean, I get that. That's that part of surrender that needs to happen, you know. And there's not enough of that. There's been a lot of pain, unfortunately, with things that have gone on. And I think there still is this desire to move things forward. But I think there's a lot of fear. There's a lot that's being blocked when we try to fight for our own agenda versus what's best for the whole. That's really kind of messing with this energy, you know. And I mean, I think it makes sense, right? Like, we have to take time to grieve, to heal, to allow ourselves to feel better, to find that rejuvenation, to feel like a person again if it was like a huge trauma or wounding. And there's no timeline for that. It's also saying don't get stuck in that space. There is like things, you know, like I was saying, the more time we take for ourselves, the stronger we end up feeling. And again, not promoting being like super selfish, you know, still having that balance, right? That balance that we get with justice energy, being a little more diplomatic with the approach, giving people the benefit of the doubt, especially if they are making the effort, but also knowing your boundaries, right? Also knowing exactly what it is that you need for yourself. Because there is a lot of stress and it's going to all come to head. I mean, like I said, you're on the right path. And I feel like the way things are moving, this is all air energy. Like, and maybe this is part of what you're feeling, part of the stress. There are going to be some decisions that need to be made. 11:11 on the clock. And it's not all easy. Air energy is not the easiest energy because it is taking the emotion out of it and just making the plans and adjustments that you need to. And there is some changing evolution that needs to happen in this situation. Maybe you guys are just kind of holding off on doing that right now because it is so busy. There is a lot on your plate. Maybe you feel like the ball is always in your court. It's up to you to do everything. But that goes back to what I was saying. Really take time for yourself. You know, your home should be your safe space. And then what are the things that you can do to make it your safe space? To not make it another minefield. Because this is a process. And if you have to take a little more time for yourself right now to be better off in the long run, that's exactly what this is saying. But I think that's the hard part, right? The hard part is actually being honest with what you want and what you need. We have a tendency to want to do everything. And that is the shadow side, right? The moth is the shadow of the butterfly. So there's always going to be good and bad. I mean, light and dark, however you want to say it, ego, spiritual self, however you want to see it. There's always going to be those things that are hard, that are difficult, frustrating when we react in a certain way that we're not proud of, etc. But it's more important for you to put voice to these things, Aquarius, than let them slide under the rug. Because I think that that's where a lot of the stress and the burden is coming from. You know, it's like looking towards the future. What patterns you set right now, it's going to be that way, you know, in the next 6 months, a year, whatever. Like they're going to follow you. So that's why it's actually better to take the time to really kind of take that step back, listen to yourself, what you want, what you need, and speak up now. Start doing it now. It just makes it easier in the long run. And granted, like I said, this is just the energy over the next week. So it might be a little awkward, a little uncomfortable, but it really is Spirit asking you to find that courage, step up for yourself, and vocalize what you want and what you need. And don't be a doormat, you know? Don't take everything on. Even other people's BS. Like, just leave it on the sidelines. All right, Aquarius, I hope that this helped. I'm sending love and blessings to whatever you're navigating through. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate all the support to the channel. Big thumbs up if you enjoyed. Drop comments below. Let's build and grow the community. Sending lots of love and blessings your way.